What's happening, y'all? JR Raymond back again, coming to you from Bowler X Pro Shop and Training Center inside Waterford Lanes in Waterford, Michigan. And today I want to talk to you about that urethane stuff again. I know a lot of people are against urethane, a lot of people are for urethane. I'm going to try and explain exactly why the Purple Hammer was so useful for a lot of people. I'm going to try and explain why it was so bad for a lot of people. Certain individuals benefited from it more than others, especially out on tour patterns. And I've also got the IQ Tour, the red urethane ball out here. I'm going to throw it a little bit with the new blue hammer and show you the difference between the two. And then also kind of explain, like I said, the use for them. What's the difference between something that's a little cleaner versus something that's a little earlier? Let's check it out. All right, y'all, let's try to throw a few shots. I'm going to throw this new blue, the badass blue hammer bowling ball. And I've got my feet right at about 22. I'm looking at 12 in the front by the dots, which is probably hitting somewhere around 11, 12 at the arrows because my feet are straighter. So let's take and roll it and see exactly what the blue one does. Now you see how clean that is, and that's a good benefit. That's one of the things that I really like about this, is how clean this ball is. If I open my angle up, I can actually get that to hook a little bit more. So that's a downside of this type of ball, is now we've got to try to find some friction to really get it to hook. Urethane balls, we're building friction into the ball because those urethane covers are strong. They actually do read sooner than reactive balls. So I'm gonna leave my feet where they are, and I'm gonna move my eyes one to the right and watch the difference in ball reaction. I followed on top of it, but see, now that gets to the dry. Another bad benefit of something like this. Really, you're gonna do that to me? That's the second video in a row you've done that to me. Goodness gracious. Like I'm pushing dust across the foul line or something. There we go. Ha. So that's another issue with bowling balls like this. So you can't throw it dead into the dry, and yet it's not early enough to play in the oil. So I'm gonna do that one more time. Now I'll move my eyes back left. Just one board. It's just one board difference. Changes the angle that much. See, now that one almost doesn't want to pick up at all. It's just a little bit of a change. So now let's take a look at the IQ, the red IQ, and see the difference. And I'll make the same types of moves and show you the difference between these bowling balls. The real benefit of urethane in situations. So, all right, same spot, standing 22, looking at 12 in the front, trying to keep it in that area at the arrows. You see how much earlier that one picks up. That one picks up quite a bit earlier. Let me throw another one there. Somebody might say, oh, that was just a little tighter angle. Maybe. But it was a tighter angle because this cover stock picks up so much earlier also. So it's not going to float to the right like that new blue hammer will. They're both going to have a spot in the bag for sure. They're definitely going to have areas where they're beneficial. Both are beneficial. Here we go. I'm going to do it again. See, again, it won't go that way because it picks up earlier. It's not as early as something like a pitch black or purple hammer or something like that, but it is definitely earlier than this new blue hammer. There we go. So now I'll move my eyes one to the right, and I want to see How does this ball react off of being thrown to the dry? A lot of the same. Smoother reaction, not as violent off of the dry, but you still see the overhook. But we have the benefit, or we have the ability, and I am wiping the ball off each time, by the way, folks. So it's not a oil thing. But we have the ability of smoothing that reaction out a little bit more. So I'm gonna try that shot one more time. And I'm just gonna roll it just a little bit more up the back. See, it actually controls it just a little bit more. Now let's throw the blue one and see what the blue one is gonna do with that same thing. Because I didn't try that with the blue one. I wanna see how it reacts. Still violent. You can see how that one really, the motion is different. The motion is quicker and more violent off the dry than a urethane ball. Let me try that one more time, because somebody again might say, well, you didn't get that one all the way to the dry. Well, here's the problem. If I get this one even further to the right, that violent reaction is probably going to be even more. So me missing in like that probably helped it. So you can see it hook and stop, real quick motion, not into the dry and round it off. So I'm gonna try the urethane again. We'll go back to the red one. And we're gonna try and get this to slow down just that pinch more. Wipe it off first. And see how much this actually affects it. Definitely smooth, but again, rolling it more made it pick up even sooner. So that's one of those things that a lot of people don't understand, is the use of different types of urethane-like ball reactions. You see people that are trying to go around the lane all the time, and that was the big benefit of the Purple Hammer, was you could get it to read quick enough, but there was something about the cover that still allowed it to keep going all the way through. Now the difference is there's a reason why you're going to start seeing some shifts. I think this new rule is going to shift things on the tour until everybody kind of gets acclimated. I was just explaining to a buddy of mine, you know, the reason why some people had a lot of success with the Purple Hammer was because the lanes would get super flat. They'd be super hard out there, and they're so around it. Their natural A-game release was to be around the ball, and so they would have trouble with anything reactive. Reactive would be overreactive or over-responsive, and if they used surface to try to slow it down, they'd get a little over-under. It would start hooking early and keep hooking, or it would hook early and bail because it'd use up all its energy. So they had a hard time really controlling the pocket until these types of bowling balls came back into action. And then they created the Purple Hammer, and you've seen a lot of people using these. Like, to be honest, you didn't see a ton of guys, like the Pitch Black came out beforehand. A lot of the urethanes came out beforehand. The Black Hammer, stuff like that, before the Purple Hammer. Those balls came out before the Purple Hammer, and you didn't see everybody trying to use them until everybody was using the Purple Hammer a lot, until everybody was really starting to make that ball that much more prevalent and being able to see, holy cow, they're able to do that with that ball. Now you see guys trying to combat what the Purple Hammer guys are doing with Pitch Blacks, with Pitch Purples, the fast pitch, stuff like that. So that's why companies were coming out with them. The benefit, okay, so let me get back into it. The benefit of it was, you know, a lot of guys that got around it were able to get the ball to still read and be continuous and smooth, control the back part of the lane on the flat conditions, and it was kind of like, I don't want to call it a crutch, but it was basically pushing the easy button. It made it to where they got rid of the over-under, and it was a smart move. You can't blame them for doing it. That's a genius move. The problem was they were able, because of that ball, they were able to continue moving left or moving right or whatever hand they're using, and it would never stop. You'd see the same ball reaction for the most part all the way through, and you could keep getting it to do more and more. And the theory behind it was that I know the study says different, but I don't think I necessarily completely believe that study. I want to see a lot more on it. But the theory is as they got used more, they got a little bit softer, and that softer footprint made them actually, see the lane a whole lot more. As you went left, it got better. And I'll be honest, with some of my older Purple Hammers, a lot of the times as I went left with them, they only got better. As I got games on them, as they got used, they only got better at going around the lane. Whereas in the beginning, they were just, the surface was too much. They didn't, almost like that oil wasn't soaked on the cover, and it was just a little too early and blah for me. My issue with the Purple Hammers, and I think a lot of guys are going to benefit from, the new rule. Having balls like the Buffalo out there and this new IQ, the red IQ, urethane, I think you're going to see a lot of guys who are more up the back, little straighter traditional guys that don't spin it so much. They're going to benefit from these types of balls just as much as the guys that spin it, but the guys that are more up the back might be able to stay in it longer because now they'll be able to stay further right. They won't get forced left as fast, whereas the guys that spin it and like to see the ball kind of come around it a little bit more, these ones aren't going to be as good at doing that like a Purple Hammer was. Even the Pitch Black wasn't nearly as good at going around the lane. Trust me, a lot of the Storm guys will tell you the same thing. The Pitch Black, they had no choice but to use urethane in those situations, because when you've got all these people using urethane and they're tightening up down lane, not that, Purple Hammers really changed the lane a ton, but they did change them a little bit. They definitely pulled oil out of the front. And they moved it down a little bit because they still flared, but they didn't flare a lot. Not like this one. This IQ actually flares a lot around the entire lane. So it's not going to change the lanes nearly as much as what like a Purple Hammer did. So you're not going to see these guys, I don't think you're going to see these guys use this ball past the first or second game. They're going to use it to start, to kind of wait for the lanes to transition, wait for them to slow down lane, get a little carry down so they slow down, and then they can get back into reactive. But I don't think you're going to, I think the days of seeing urethane throughout the entire event, other than maybe lefties, is over. I think a lot of the righties are not going to be able to do it, out on tour at least, because of the change in the rules, not having the Purple Hammer. Because still to this day, even with the blue one's not urethane. Maybe they're going to try to do the same thing, but like I showed you, the blue one is just a little bit more responsive down lane. It's still fairly smooth, but because it's reactive, it's still quicker down lane than what a traditional urethane ball is. You could see it night and day difference between the traditional urethane red and that blue ball. So, I really do believe you're going to see a transition of, certain players getting better on tour and being a little bit more prevalent. Guys like Chris Barnes, if he chooses, I'm sure he's going to continue to bowl the national tour. He's still freaking one of the best out there. But you're going to start seeing guys like that a little bit, the shot makers a little bit more. You're going to see like Frankie Lavoie a little bit more. Not that you didn't see him already, but you're going to see him a little bit more than what I think you traditionally did, because I don't think like the lower rev rate guys aren't going to be shut out as much. They're not going to have to try to create these crazy angles and do these crazy things. They're going to be able to play their A game a little bit more and a little bit longer, because you're going to see traditional breakdown. You're not going to see a whole lot of urethane breakdown anymore. You're not going to see guys like Ronnie Russell struggle as bad. Ronnie struggled because he's trying to adapt. He's trying to get his ball to not hook so early, because he was kind of like me. With the Purple Hammer, you put the Purple Hammer in his hand, and if he could play straighter with it, he was good, because then he could kind of trap it and get it to stay there. But as soon as he had to move left, a lot of the times he struggled. He saw over-under a lot like I did. Trying to get the ball to continue, I wasn't that good at it. I was getting better at it, but not to the point where I could really keep up with, a lot of the guys who were just so good at it. And then you got guys like EJ. EJ would sometimes use urethane, sometimes use the tanks a little bit straighter, but a lot of the times he was so good at getting his ball to read the proper way, and he had enough power that he could just kind of overpower the lanes, go left, and never have to worry about any craziness happening for him. He could make the ball do what he wanted to do. So I don't quite have that kind of power, so I kind of had to play with my angles a little bit better, but that's why I'm practicing. That's why I'm here. Got a month little over a month to get ready for, about a month and a half to get ready for the tour season. Got the Players Championship on the 9th of January. So we'll be going out there, hoping for the best. I got to bowl the PTQs again because I didn't bowl all the events again last year, and I didn't bowl well to begin with, so it didn't matter. But I am looking forward to getting back into this. Like, bowling is my life, teaching is my life, pro shop is my life. I'm going to continue to do this, and hopefully you guys continue to learn from me. I can continue to learn from y'all, and it's all going to be great. So if you do appreciate my content and whatnot, make sure to head over to 10pindoctors.com. Sign up for that membership. It's $9.99 a month. You can take advantage of all of the knowledge base on there that shows you a whole bunch of stuff that we're trying to teach, the calculators that are over there, the entire list of bowling balls, the forums that are over there where we talk back and forth. You get monthly clinics, virtual clinics for free as members. You get discounts on virtual lessons. You get all kinds of different benefits. Be involved in all the giveaways and everything. So head over to 10pindoctors.com, go over there, or head over to bowlerx.com, buy the books and stuff. If you want to support, that's the way to do it. You can join the membership on YouTube. I know there's not really much of a benefit for the YouTube membership, but for those of you that stayed in it and you know, support the channel for the $4 or whatever it is, definitely appreciate y'all. Or just simply like and comment and subscribe to every channel, or subscribe, like, comment, and share every video, and that helps support the channel as well. So I do appreciate y'all. I'm going to get out of here. Until next time, we'll see you guys later. Take care.